You recording all this?
Yeah, I just hit the button. I really should have hit it sooner.
The dude facilitated the law enforcement's undercover cell to this moderator who was also a big vendor at the time. But it was the guy who, I don't know, they used like a middleman. They used another moderator as like the middleman. And what they basically did was he got hit all the drugs. They literally shipped the drugs to his house. They did like a controlled, I don't know if they actually even shipped the shit. Eventually they just like got all of his details and like SWAT team showed up at his place and the dude got arrested as fuck. Right? And then so, but instead of being like, oh, you know, like, yeah, I don't know, instead of like being like, oh, we're the feds, like guess what? They stayed undercover and basically told the dude like, yo, like your guy got busted or whatever, and literally like the dude is on trial right now is like, oh shit, you know, like that dude knows a lot of like secrets about this, you know, like, you know, do you know anyone who could like kill him for me? And they're like, yeah, we'd have to get back to you on that. And they literally they gave him a number. They gave him a legit like a huge sum of money. And like, yeah, we found a dude who'll do this. And and they gave him the fucking like he basically gave the FBI half of what this whole hitman was supposed to pay. And they basically just told him that the guy was killed. You know? Like they just like the deed was done, like all serious and shit, and like nothing happened. And the guy was in custody the entire time. And so that is basically the unpinnings of all this. And so where you have it now, where like Silk Road 2, you get a lot of people who have different like sway or like power that they've accumulated over time on the forums. And it's not easy to do that. You can either like dredge away in the forums, or you can kind of prove your worth in terms of like an account on like Silk Road, right? And so like now is this whole aftermath of like who is actually what, and like there have been key players who were like moderators, like of the whole forums who were technically law enforcement, and they're dude. There's like all these
maybe
theories,
CIA.
all this shit.
I think it's more like FBI, CIA.
No, but dude,
because you know it's intelligence. This right here, the internet, it's intelligence, and you know the intelligence community. They know that they monitor the internet. They monitor our phone calls.
No, dude, but it's
the NSA. It's all of that.
It's all of it. People who have been like hinting at like this being like a second like law enforcement honeypot. Like that was my first thought. I'm like, all right, either three things. One, they somehow took the code in the first one, and I guess that's possible. I've read interviews for the new like moderators and shit, but it's like
it's crazy.
No, dude, I think it's a honeypot. That's basically what's happened. Is people have started using it and they've gotten, you know, there's so many noobs. There's so many noobs out there who just like literally like make an account because they've seen all this publicity. They make an account and they fucking, you know, finalize early. Because the escrow system, you have to put the money into your account. Silk Road verifies like, oh, you know, you got this dough. Like it's all good. The fucking so then you can just look through anyone's listings. You're like, oh, add to cart and all this shit. You gotta, you know, send your address like an information like encrypted and shit. But you just like there are all these guys who as a vendor ask all these people like oh, finalize early, you know, because this is my policy and shit. I have gotten so burned so many times on doing that, and the people who are really legit won't ask that of you at all. They won't even fucking care, because they basically have proven their worth as like a vendor, and it's really hard to do that. But a lot of people use that method of like finalize early as to, like, because there's so many people who scam them, who like get them shit and like, oh, I never got it, and they send the reports to the moderators and shit, and they're such assholes. And so like the forums are literally full of tons of people, tons of children, like new faces, you know, being like, oh, I finalized early, but they're not doing this, I finalized that, you know, oh, you know, this dude's a scammer, and like, and some people are legit. But a lot of times, it's like there's still users on it that have been there a while, and I've read through some shit where like a user who had been there for a very long time basically said like, you know, for A, B, or C reason, I am no longer going to be on this website. You know, this is like my final goodbyes to you all. You know, I know I've gotten to a place where I no longer feel like, you know, comfortable with my safety here. Something akin to that. And so the guy just disappeared. Never showed up again. And
it's crazy.
But that's who it was. It's like
It's 3 o'clock.
almost 3 o'clock.
All right, thank you, baby. We gotta get out. I think we should cut this right here. Let's just cut the.